Herzlich willkommen zurück zu einer weiteren Folge Vampyr. Heute in der Folge gehen wir doch mal da rein. Die Dame hat bestimmt auch nach Jonathan Reid gerufen. Ich durchsuche erstmal alles.
Dr. Reid, I am glad to see you again.
Ja, Sie sind mir jetzt nicht so wichtig. Hey, bleib stehen, bleib
Good
stehen.
evening, Miss Price. I'm Dr. Reid. Do you remember me?
Dr. Reid? Yes, of course. You are the doctor who healed me and my mum. Good evening, Dr. Reid.
Good to see you too, Carol. Are you all right?
Oh, yes.
I hope you can stay.
I did not hurt myself recently. I know how to take care of myself now. I'm almost a grown-up.
Warum nachts wach?
Why are you awake at night, Carol?
I am helping my mother in her shop. It's not easy,
Dr. Reid,
but I'm a grown-up now.
Deine Mutter muss stolz sein.
I'm sure your mother is grateful for your help.
I do the best I can. But I'm so clumsy sometimes. I drop things. I injure myself. It's a good thing my mother has the patience of an angel.
Arbeit ist nicht leicht.
Why is work not easy? Is something or someone bothering you?
Oh no, most people are gentle with me. But I'm so nervous sometimes. I pay no attention and hurt myself. Good thing my mum learned first aid.
Ja, ist doch auch was Vorteilhaftes. Arbeitssicherheit geht halt auch vor, ne?
What can you tell me of the people living nearby?
I don't speak to many people, except our customers. It's not easy to make friends. And with the epidemic, it's even more difficult.
Kenn ich.
I hope you can stay a little longer.
What can you tell me about the epidemic?
Some of our regular customers have left London. Some others only send their housemaids now. Everybody fears the contagion. I've even seen men with weapons.
Lass mich raten, die Wachen vom Privieren.
Dr. Reid, I am glad to see you again.
Ist nett, dass die Mutter die ganze Zeit sagt, Dr. Reid! Dr. Reid! Ich bin mich gerade hier am Unterhalten, Mensch.
Have you no friends at all?
No. Mr. Nithicut used to pass by and was always nice to me.
Does he not come by anymore?
No.
I hope you can stay.
Mum said he was weird. Always reciting poetry about a girl he'd met in Whitechapel. I wonder who this camellia may be.
Aha. Hatten wir nicht auch Dame kennengelernt? Bin mir nicht sicher.
Dr. Reid, I am glad to see you again.
Die Mutter ist schon nervig, ne?
Do you enjoy working with your mother?
Oh, yes, Doctor. My mother raised me alone after my father died. We've always lived together, and she has always watched over me.
Erinnerst du dich an deinen Vater?
Do you remember your father?
No, I was just a baby then. My mother always told me how strong and good he was.
Ah. War ja vielleicht Popeye.
Do you ever think about getting married now you're a woman?
Oh no, Dr. Reid.
Dr. Reid,
Mum always says I'm still a child who has no idea how tough life can be. No husband would like a clumsy girl like me.
Ach, Ungeschicktheit ist nicht jetzt ein Problem, ne?
Have you ever met the famous Aloysius Dawson?
Yes, a very strange man, not very nice.
What do you mean?
He said he was ready to pay good money for rare books, and then laughed at what we showed him.
Goodbye, Carol.
Oh, ich wollte hinterher rennen. Ist aber... Ne, die Tür ist noch verschlossen. Als ob die Mutter jetzt da hinterher geht. Ich wollte doch mit der Mutter noch reden. Ach, Mann.
if you're not too tired, could you help your mummy? Aren't you his daughter ever? Seems Be careful, Carol. You're wasting good food here.
Yes, Mother.
Die Mutter setzt sie aber auch
I
unter
said be
Druck.
careful, child. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Mummy has been so clumsy again.
No, that's okay. It won't bleed for long.
You're so pale. Are you feeling sick? Do you need to see a doctor?
No, I'm fine. I already saw the doctor last week.
Don't be silly. You must see a doctor. Just don't tell him how clumsy your mummy is, all right? I love you so much, my baby.
I love you too, Mother.
Zu spät. Die kommen jetzt gleich wieder nach oben. Die kommen gleich wieder nach oben. Sag ich doch. Und die Tochter auch? Oh,
I hope you can stay a little longer this time.
du blutest ja. Mann, was ist passiert? Magst du mit mir reden?
Good morning.
Good evening, young lady.
My mother always prefers when people simply call me Carol.
Das ist halt schon...
Is it true you often hurt yourself, Carol?
Yes, it's true. I try to behave, I really do. But one way or another, I always end up injured or wounded. I'm so stupid.
Why would you be stupid?
It's like I can't help getting under my mother's feet. That's how I end up being pushed, cut, or burned. You see, I'm a stupid girl, really.
When exactly do these accidents happen?
Ever since I was little. That's why I need to stay with Mum. I'm not capable of taking care of myself.
Lass mich raten, wie der Papa gestorben ist. Durch eine ungeschickten Mutter?
Goodbye, Carol.
Das ist ärgerlich.
I am sorry, I can't help you, sir. Perhaps you should talk with someone else.
Good evening, Miss Price. How are you tonight?
Dr. Reid, I didn't know you had returned from the war. I had a new doctor when you left, but he's not as kind as you.
Always glad to see a former patient in good condition. It's been a long time.
Too long indeed. And as a token of my appreciation, I'll grant you the best price if you fancy buying anything from my humble shop.
Oh, das ist aber sehr nett. Warum sind Sie so ungeschickt?
What can you tell me about yourself, Miss Price?
I'm still managing my shop. The only difference is, since the quarantine, we're open at night. You, on the contrary, seem to have changed a lot.
Haben Sie...
Really? Have I changed that much? It must have been the war and the night shifts since my return.
Don't get me wrong, Dr. Reid, you're still handsome. Just maybe a little bit wiser, more serious. It suits you well.
Erzählen Sie mir von sich.
Tell me more about yourself. No new fiancé? I remember you were hoping to get remarried. I'm sure you must have a few suitors.
Who would marry an old bat like myself with a grown daughter and a little business? As you know, I only fancy handsome men like yourself.
Okay.
Have you noticed anything in particular in this part of town recently?
Other than you coming back to cheer me up? Nothing at all, Dr. Reid.
Oh mein Gott, jetzt flirtet die mit uns auch noch. Was habe ich mir da nur angetan?
Carol's gratitude is exemplary. She seems determined never to leave you.
I'm taking care of my daughter as well as I can. It's not always easy, but she's the best gift life gave me.
But she'll probably leave you someday to live her own life. Will that be difficult for you?
Why would she leave? Children sometimes stay with their parents until the end, for they know no one else will love them as much.
Ah, doch. Andere Leute werden sie auch lieben.
Tell me, Carolyn, do you often wound or hurt your daughter by mistake?
No. I always thought it was Carol's clumsiness that caused these incidents. Maybe it's a family trait, Doctor.
You really believe it's just bad luck and being clumsy then?
Of course, Doctor. What else could it be? I have nothing to hide.
You are responsible for your daughter's many injuries and scars, Carolyn. You brutalize her, don't you?
How could I abuse my own flesh and blood? This is nonsense. It would be like hurting myself.
You really believe you've done nothing wrong, don't you? How long has this been going on for? I should have seen it when you were my patients.
Seen what? Child abuse? Are you mad, Dr. Reid? I dedicated my whole life to my precious Carol. She is a part of me.
Yes. Even her name is just a part of yours. This is a terrible tragedy. Something of an unknown disorder. My God. Abuse that comes from overwhelming love.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. How dare you say something like that? What kind of a monster do you think I am?
Speak to me, Carolyn. Why do you behave like this? How does it make you feel to hurt Carol before cajoling her?
I don't know. It makes me feel good to take care of my daughter. I need to feel useful. No one ever takes care of me. I need someone to take care of me.
Do you realize Carol is a person? Not a toy, not a doll. The poor girl would put her hand in a flame to please you. You are both trapped in this toxic relationship.
Carol and I are perfectly happy. Leave us be. How stupid I was to believe you could be a suitable husband.
Sie leiden auch. Oder sie bringen ihre Tochter um. Das wäre natürlich auch eine Option. Aber die ist ja jetzt schon toxisch.
You're a threat to Carol, and no child should feel unsafe in the presence of their parents.
No, Dr. Reid. You are the threat. You are threatening to separate a mother from her only daughter, from the meaning of her life.
Aber meistens ist es besser so. Vielleicht muss sie ja auch erstmal selber klarkommen. Denkt man nämlich, sie hat damals auch ihren Mann getötet. Hätte doch das mit den Tod nehmen sollen, dann hätte ich das bestimmt erfahren.
Does your daughter still worry you, Miss Price? I remember you were often concerned about her health when she was younger.
Have you not seen Carol since you returned? She's almost a young woman now. But she'll always remain my sweet little baby.
So you're less afraid?
Some things never change. Carol is still too clumsy for her own good. Sometimes her innocence puts her in real danger.
Oh
Why would
Mann.
her innocence put her in danger?
She does not realize how cruel life can be. Maybe I was a bad mother to protect her too much. My poor dear Carol.
Die Gefahr ist eher bei ihm. Aber
You
gut.
have every reason to be cautious, Miss Price, especially in these difficult times.
Maybe you could talk with her, Dr. Reid. It would be nice to have a man here more often. We would both feel safer.
Böse Mutter. So, persönliche Fragen sind wir durch. Ihr Leben in London haben wir auch. Kennen
Do
Sie
you
ihn?
know Aloysius Dawson?
Everybody knows him. He's only been to my shop once, though, looking for rare books and other intriguing antiques.
Did he buy something from you?
No, he left quickly. He almost laughed at my goods. Mr. Dawson may be a rich man, but you can't buy good manners.
But isn't Aloysius Dawson known for his philanthropy?
That was before his brother Robert died in an aeroplane crash. Since then, the remaining twin has turned into a heartless tycoon.
Aha.
May I look at your goods, Miss Price?
It's always a pleasure to have you here, Dr. Reid. Take all the time you need.
Wir wissen also jetzt von den Dawson, sein Bruder, der ist beim Flugzeugabsturz umgekommen. Und er wurde halt ein Geschäftsmann weiterhin. Und ich dachte, ich krieg Rabatte. Das sind ja Preise für Opium 15. Ne.
I am sorry, I can't help you, sir. Perhaps you should talk with someone else instead.
I hope you can stay a little longer this time.
Nein, ich kann nicht länger bleiben. Nicht bei Ihnen. Warte mal, kann ich jetzt in den Keller gehen?
I cannot
Natürlich
enter.
nicht. Schade. So, dann wollen wir aber trotzdem da mal weitermachen, wo wir aufgehört hatten. Wir gucken jetzt nach. Wir sollen ja jemanden beißen, den ich nicht beißen möchte. Dort gehen wir jetzt hin. Und werden das natürlich nicht vollbringen. Die Tat. Ist hier unten? Aha. Ein Sammelobjekt. Das Verbrechen des verlorenen Wissens. Vampire sind gefährlich, tödlich, manchmal bösartig. Das ist eine Tatsache und ich werde sie nicht abstreiten. Doch dies ist genau der Grund, weshalb wir begreifen müssen, was sie sind. Und manchmal, wer sie sind. Um so ein besseres gegenseitiges Verständnis zu erlangen. Erinnern Sie sich an den Gespräch mit Titus Flavius Josephus, das von einem der unsrigen 1548 geführt wurde, als er schlussendlich die Kreatur in Spanien traf? Erinnern Sie sich, wie die vorsichtig gewählten Worte dieses Vampirs unsere Herzen stets erwärmten, wenn wir sie lassen? Denn sie sind besondere Fenster zu einer Vergangenheit, von denen wir sonst nur flüchtige Blicke erhaschen. Titus Flavius Josephus gibt es nicht mehr, seit ihm die Jäger des Vatikans vor wenigen Wochen vernichteten haben. Mit ihm verschwanden auch die freigelegten Schätze seines Wissens über die Säulen unserer Zivilisation. Dies ist ein Verbrechen so herzerreißend wie der Mord eines Unschuldigen durch einen Vampir. Und darum ist der Weg, den die Wache von Privien eingeschlagen hat, so verwerflich, wie er wertlos ist. Wenn sie eine ihrer methodischen Jagden auf die alten Vampire Englands veranstalten, anstatt sich ihnen vorsichtig und respektvoll anzunähern, zerstören sie einen Teil unserer gemeinsamen Wurzeln mit den Unsterblichen. Sie ersticken eine Gelegenheit im Keim. Die Idee einer großen Jagd ist ein Verbrechen, weil sie blindlings Worte und Gedanken tötet. Aus dem Brunnen des Wissens trinken. Von Asha Taltui Premise von St. Paulus. Lass mich raten. Das ist der Herr hier.
It's locked.
Genau, das habe ich mir auch gedacht. Wussten Sie eigentlich, dass ich ein Vampir bin?
Jonathan Reid. At last we meet. The cards warned me you would visit tonight.
I beg your pardon, sir. Do I know you?
Of course you do. Our mutual friend, Dr. Swansea, can't speak highly enough of you. My name is Usher. Usher Talltree.
You are the leader of the Brotherhood, are you not?
Primate of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, to be precise. I'm really glad we met tonight. I love it when the cards tell me a truth.
The cards told you to expect me.
Yes, they can tell me everything. They told me that you have not taken another life since your poor sister died.
Warum weiß er so viel über uns? Warum weiß er, dass wir ein Vampir sind? Dr. Swansea doch nicht so vertrauenswürdig, mit denen man immer reden kann?
What can you tell me about the neighborhood?
I really don't know. I don't often go outside. And when I do, it's usually to quite distant destinations.
So you see nothing in the stars for me? You're a poor fortune teller then.
Oh, I can tell you many things, but they will only concern you, not the city. For example, I know that you offered your sister the final rest she asked for.
Was zum Teufel?
Do the cards speak of my Mary?
No. It's the burning aura of guilt that precedes you everywhere you go.
Read my fortune then.
You have been chosen, Jonathan. I see on you the mark of a strong being, so powerful it needn't even reveal its strength.
Alles klar.
Tell me about yourself. What do you do here, besides turning cards in the middle of the night?
I'm for most a charlatan. For a few, I'm a vampire. And for you, I'm the primate of St. Paul's Stole.
Manche halten sie für einen Vampir.
Some believe you to be a vampire. Who?
The guard of Priwen, who else? For a time, they sent spies to observe my activities, and they even broke into my home to gather proof.
Did they steal anything from you?
A personal notebook they quickly took to their headquarters. All they had to do is to look at me. I'm aging. What better and definite proof that I'm not an immortal?
Do you want your notebook back?
If you ever find it, I'd be glad to have it back, of course. I do ask one thing, though. Do not read it, Jonathan. Some secrets are not meant to be revealed, even to immortals.
Wie lange sind Sie schon Primas?
For how long have you been a primate?
It was 15 years last year.
What do you make of Dr. Swansea?
Edgar is a brilliant and dedicated man. A man of his time, sometimes a little muddled, but always looking for new paths and new concepts.
Ja, also auch Dr. Swansea hat mit Ihnen anscheinend ein paar Geheimnisse.
Can you read the cards for me?
Are you sure you want to know what they will reveal?
Yes, I am.
It will cost you 150 shillings.
Komm, gönnen wir uns den Spaß.
Here is the money.
The mother, a suffering soul, ashamed of her silence, terrified to raise her voice, a son to be killed.
Can you read the cards for me?
Put the money on the table then, Jonathan, and open your mind.
Okay.
Perhaps later.
Also sehr Abzocke. Muss ich ehrlich sagen.
How do you measure the amount of blood on my hands?
I told you. The cards always tell the truth. Well, most of the time.
Is it possible to tell me my future?
A vampire's fate is much more delicate to read, Doctor. But I can try.
Nun gut, sprechen Sie.
All right. Let me hear it.
You're on a path to redemption, Jonathan. But be careful. One single trip and you'll fall.
That doesn't sound promising.
Take this, young Ekon, as a personal reward for your strong will. Keep following the right path and you'll reach safety.
Aha. Altes Blut gerade bekommen.
I would rather not know.
Wow. Das war ja...
How do you measure the amount of blood on my hands?
I told you. The cards always tell the truth. Well, most of the time.
Is it possible to tell me my future?
A vampire's fate is much more delicate to read, Doctor. But I can try.
Hatten wir ja gerade schon. Nur das war noch nicht ausgegraut, darum habe ich es nochmal angeklickt.
How did you learn about Mary? And spare me the hocus-pocus parlor tricks. The truth, now!
Swansea told me. Don't look at me like that. His task is to observe and gather information about vampires. He had to tell me about Mary.
Ernsthaft? Sie hat dieses Schicksal nicht verdient.
Mary did not deserve her fate. She had already suffered enough during her life. And yet the pain and the suffering went on after her death.
Suffering is part of the immortal condition. Some prefer to lose their minds rather than face the simple truth. Pain will never stop.
Ja.
May I ask you about the Brotherhood?
Of course. But I must warn you that there are some subjects we consider taboo, in spite of our fondness and acceptance of your kind.
Erstmal über die Wache.
I know there is no love lost between the Guard of Priwen and the Brotherhood. What caused this rift?
It was 1801. The Brotherhood was stronger then, a strength that made them hungry for ever greater power. An argument divided them, and the wound never healed.
What was the nature of the disagreement?
The problem was that both sides considered themselves the legitimate heirs of the original Brotherhood. We divide up the books, the relics, not always fairly or with consideration.
Wer hat die Bruderschaft gegründet?
Who founded the Brotherhood?
That's precisely the kind of question I cannot answer. It is delicate and may reveal some of our secret traditions.
So you're not just a club of academics and scholars?
Once upon a time, very long ago, the Brotherhood did more than simply study the vampires. They took actions to eliminate the more ferocious and corrupted.
So, das war schon. Mehr konnten wir jetzt hier nicht.
Is there anything you could tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
Aloysius Dawson. Yes, of course. We met on several occasions. With time, he got deeper and deeper into the occult.
He's not the only one. It's been quite the fashion for several decades. The Golden Dawn, for instance, is just one example.
True. Aloysius was a member of the Golden Dawn until 1900. Then his thirst for dark knowledge grew. I'm talking forbidden texts. Readings which blackened his heart.
Oh, es gibt verdorbene
Bye,
Texte.
sir. Until we meet again.
I rarely wander. Yet it amuses me to converse with your kind. Perhaps London will survive the epidemic, but I see terrible trials awaiting in the future.
Ja. Aber das ist wieder nicht da, wo wir hin wollten. Wofür das? Das sind Druckplatten. Muss doch irgendein Rätsel sein, oder? Nein, natürlich nicht. Egal, gehen wir mal weiter. Warte mal. Wo ist die Hauptquest hin? Wir sollen sein Anwesen betreten.
It's locked.
Jetzt ist die Frage, wo war sein Anwesen? So viel halt dazu, ne? Das haben wir ja ziemlich schnell wieder vergessen. Auch das finden wir. Hier sind wir wieder da bei dem Keller. Das ist ja nicht das Anwesen. Hier diese Türen sind es ja auch nicht. Ich glaube, ich habe mich da etwas verrannt, dem ich halt erstmal alles da angucken wollte. Habe ich jetzt gerade wirklich nichts bekommen? Oh nein. Gott sprach zu mir. Ja, irgendwie ist auch die Quest komischerweise gerade weg. Die Hauptquest ist weg. Ah, steht sie wieder da. Wer weiß, was das gerade ist. Denkt man, das hier wird das am nächsten sein. Oder? Sieht danach aus. Gehen wir doch mal rein. Aber ich würde sagen, das werden wir uns dann in der nächsten Folge angucken. Ich wünsche euch noch einen wunderschönen Resttag. Bis zum nächsten Mal.